Good morning and welcome to P&B Morning Show. Nigeria never sleeps, and neither do the issues shaping our nation. From politics to security, the economy to social justice, every headline carries a story that affects our daily lives. But beyond the news, there are deeper questions we must ask. Are we moving forward as a country, or simply reacting to one crisis after another? Today, we take a closer look at the events making waves across the nation and the conversations Nigerians are having about them. So stay with us as we break it all down, ask the tough questions, and give you the clarity you need to start your day informed. This is P&B Morning Show, and my name is Omike Joseph Matthew, and with me, as always, is Chidi Kenneth. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, OJ. Very good morning to our viewers there. Once again, you're welcome to, the morning show on Politics and Business Television here in Abuja. OJ, how's your weekend?
Yes, my weekend was splendid.
And are you coping with the fuel hike?
Yeah, that's what I actually want to highlight very quickly.
OJ,
it was splendid, but of course, at the same time, I realized that not all Nigerians are really happy with what is happening. And, I suddenly became a presidential spokesman or a Nigeria spokesman, because I was but do you know that some people don't really understand why we're having this situation? They are still putting the blame on the government and all that. As I said, look, this is not the situation. That's why I said at the weekend.
I told you last week, OJ. I don't know. You're not speaking English. All this you are speaking is English, OJ. I told you the only language the common man understands is fuel and dollar, and whether it concerns him or not directly. And you see, OJ, that brings us to the fact that when the dividends of democracy is not really seen, as it were, in the lives of the common man, the common man will not even understand the downturn and upturn of the things.
And that's not an excuse for the common man not to know what is happening around him.
The Hausa man will say, in Iran, the Israel.
It has come when there must be the ruler of Israel and the...
Because the truth about it is that we are one of the oil producing nations, OJ.
Yes.
We have oil here. We have refineries here. So actually, I don't know why if Europe sneezes, everybody will quiver here. So they have it in abundance here. So
have you heard of the word? The world is a global village.
What? My village is. I don't understand.
No, have you heard of that phrase?
Of course, we all know the internet has made it a global village.
No, whether it is internet or what. So whatever happens here somehow affects somebody somewhere. So that is just it.
Well, so let me rest. The law, they say rest is an opito. Should rest in matter.
All right.
1,150 naira, OJ.
Hey, don't worry, don't lament. Okay. So good morning, everyone. Of course, today is the 9th day in the month of March 2026, and we have a whole lot for you this morning on the program. We're looking at two major issues this morning. We'll still be revisiting the issue of insecurity and. Yes, over the weekend we had the story. Even before the weekend, the story of multiple soldiers killed in Igoshi in Borno State came to light, and some of the fallen heroes were buried. And we're asking this question this morning: over 40 soldiers killed. Why is Boko Haram still striking Nigeria's military? So we're looking at that this morning, and of course, the issue of controversy in the Nigerian judiciary will also be in our front burner this morning for discussion. So all you need to do is to stick with us this morning on the show, right here on the P&B Morning Show, and of course digest all this as we try to look at this burning issue. So we're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll look at the papers as always, right here on P&B Morning Show. Stay tuned. So welcome to the newspaper review on a Monday, and of course, let's quickly dive into the papers for you without much delay. Our very first paper this morning is the Punch newspaper. Yes, this is a very concerning headline as far as Chidi is concerned. NNPC may supply foreign crude to Dangote refinery. Yes, this is the headline from the Punch. So this headline suggests that NNPC is trying to use a third party to sell crude to Dangote refinery so that they can maintain the refining threshold, or else we might even, the situation might get even worse as long as the Iran, US, and Israeli war continues. Chidi.
Oh, well, OJ, I really don't know what to say about this situation, but for me, it's controversial, kind of, in the sense that we have crude here in abundance. I don't know. And Dangote has been, refining using our, domestic crude here.
Mm.
And now NNPC coming out to say that they want to supply Dangote, foreign crude.
Mm.
And vis-a-vis the current situation globally, we're talking about the war between Israel, America, and Iran.
Mm.
I wonder how what the price dynamics will be like.
That is what NNPC is trying to do now. This naira to naira to naira crude to arrangement to Dangote. So now NNPC will need to meet the OPEC quota every day. Nigeria is even supposed to supply 2 million barrels per day, but we are not even meeting it. So you must meet that quota. So there must be that supply you must give to Dangote based on the agreement on ground now. You understand? So now Dangote is not getting enough. Even the naira for crude arrangement is not even enough for Dangote, and because of the war, Dangote refinery cannot get crude.
But OJ, I know where you are going to. You're looking at right now, because of the war, pressure is going to be on crude globally.
Yes, globally.
And now we're looking at, as of yesterday, the crude was escalating to as much as $150 per barrel.
This one, $100.
$100 this morning.
Yes.
Okay, now $100 per barrel. So what are we trying to say here?
Well, when
the foreign crude is supplied to Dangote, at what rate?
At what rate? At the global rate. There is nothing you can do about that.
At the global rate, how does it translate in naira and kobo here? Because we're looking at, well, as we speak now, is 1,000.
As far as this war continues, if it will mean you buying fuel for 2,000 naira, you will buy it. There is nothing Dangote can do. There is nothing Nigeria can do. You understand? But the issue now is let Dangote get the crude to refine fuel.
How about subsidizing Dangote's the crude given to Dangote?
Well, you can't subsidize this. You must sell at the international rate.
No, I'm not talking of the terms of the government, because now pressure will be on our crude, OJ.
Yeah.
That means more money for us.
More money for
the country.
Yes.
The country is likely to make more money, generate more revenue.
Yes.
As we stand, because like you said, 2 million barrels must be supplied. That's the OPEC global standard.
We are not even, I think it's 1.4. We're even
fine. Yes. Now more pressure will be on our crude, of course, because we gathered that the route where the oil passage
is getting Iran longer now.
It has been blocked by Iran. So of course China is going to be affected, and other countries. That's me putting pressure on other oil producing countries to supply more. Now the question I want to ask now, we are going to generate more money. Some economists might say that those money that we generate, the government should remove some to see how they can subsidize the rate. For example, if it's supposed to be 1,150 as we speak now, the government can say, okay, let me take off 250, and then the people can buy.
I think the only thing the government look, I'm not an oil expert. You understand?
I'm telling you what economics is anticipating. The government can more money is coming to government coffers.
It is not what you think that it is in the sector. You understand?
Okay, it is a sector that determines the sector.
Yes, you understand. Because even the price at even the fact that Dangote is buying with naira instead of dollar, is buying it based on the dollar rate. The international rate. Equivalent. I don't know if you understand. So you have to convert the naira, the dollar to naira. You understand? So let's say now the exchange rate is 1,300, right? So Dangote must buy the crude at 1,000 at the amount of the 1,000 of the $100 in naira.
So what advice you have for us now? Now we are going to make more money as a nation.
Nigeria is making more money, but we don't have refining capacity, if not for Dangote. So now the problem is you are selling crude, you are making more money, but you are now buying refined products. You understand? From outside, and the more you buy refined product, once the price of crude is going up, the refined products prices also go up. So you make it just like a farmer who makes more money selling his raw crops, but at the end of the day will go to a restaurant to go and buy food for 1,500 per plate. You understand? So that is the situation of Nigeria. If not for Dangote, I don't know you. This complaint we are complaining this morning. Only God knows where you would have been. Right. So that is why now the NNPC is trying to use their connection to use a third party to also supply Dangote refinery, so that
whatever it is, there's a temper justice with Messi.
Yes, because the people are already shouting. In Anambra State, the pump price is 1,200 already. In Abuja, it's 1,100. You just confirm 150. Before the end of the day, except something happens.
I bought fuel for 9:89 in the morning, and I was going home. I said, let me just top up.
Yeah.
I had to run away. I have to run away from the filling station. Immediately I looked at the price. Something just said, look at the pump. That same day, and I saw 1,001. I kicked my car and I took it.
You know what? Last night while I was coming to the office,
I took to my heels. My wife was laughing at me. I said, my dear, let's run.
The joy is that there is fuel. There is fuel in our filling station. But the money to buy the fuel.
There is no joy there, OJ. There is no joy.
So yesterday, like I was about to say, while I was coming, I saw a car that was parked as a result of fuel has finished from the tank. So
my car is also parked.
So the driver took a jerrycan to the filling station to go and buy fuel. At the end of the day, he doesn't have enough money to buy enough.
Half jerrycan.
You understand?
Or quarter jerrycan.
He came, he said, and he's not going to leave this car here. So it's a big issue. So let's go. Let's continue with.
So we're appealing to America and Iran.
No, it's not America. It's Donald Trump. It's not America. It's Donald Trump that you appeal to
stop trumping.
It's not trumping the world. Okay, so let's go back to the Punch newspaper. So very interesting headlines there, and of course you can see pictorial stories there of bombed tanks and all that. That's Iran there. Where US and Israel bombed refineries and oil storages. So those are the pictures you are seeing there. Okay, let's look at other headlines. Pope warns of regional spillover from Israel-Iran war. Okay, and FAC subcommittees gets 11.5 billion naira 2026 budget planning. So interesting stories there. And the last one before we move on from the Punch newspaper this morning, let's dive into politics. Battle for PDP. Makinde, Wike comes. Brace for appeal court's verdict today. Makinde, Wike comes. Brace for appeal court verdict today. So the verdict is coming today, and we'll be keeping tabs on that. So who win the soul of the PDP? That will be determined by the appeals court today. So let's move on to our next paper this morning. Away from the Punch now, we now dive into the Guardian. The Guardian always what headline of the headline that relates to the economy always, So shareholders may forfeit dividends as CBN penalizes insider abuse. Shareholders may forfeit dividends as CBN penalizes insider abuse. So you can see the Naira there. the picture of the naira there and all that. So check out this story, how insiders abusing shares of shareholders and some who may forfeit dividends, and why all that happening. You check out the Guardian this morning for that juicy story. 2027 polls will be Nigeria's against bad leadership, so says Obi. 2027 polls will be Nigerians against bad leadership, says Obi. Okay. Petrol price may hit 1,400 per litre as Dangote refinery loading stalls. Petrol price may hit 1,400 per litre as Dangote refinery loading stalls. Okay.
That's a very troubling one, to say the least. Stalling the loading means not just the price will jack up, there may be likely scarcity.
Of course, because Dangote stopped loading from its gantry yesterday. That's the Dangote refinery from their gantry yesterday, because they cannot just keep loading while they don't have assurance of crude for them to refine. So, and that is why the Punch newspaper is telling us through that headline that the NNPC is trying to do something so that Dangote cannot stop production.
So to augment the situation.
Yeah. So if Dangote is assured of getting crude from whichever source, then of course they can continue loading, and there won't be there won't be hike in price and then scarcity to add to it.
Well, I just hope that this situation subsides, because it's beginning to raise some form of some kind of serious concern. OG.
Yes.
Stalling. If you look at what's going on globally now, you will see that even Qatar has also shut down their production.
Yes.
So everybody seems to be, this is the negative effect, what we call the spoils of war. These are the things that happens when we engage in serious war. And you see, my appeal is that these countries, going, fighting as it were now, should please try and see how they can resolve this matter, because right now, the cost of food, cost of transportation, everything is jacking up. The cost of cement. OJ, I was listening to a friend. He said he just bought cement not quite long, and now cement is over 11,000 naira per bag.
That means the person has enough money to build house at this time.
No,
when we're talking about to eat, some have money to build a house. So that's why I complain of cement.
Well, OJ, see, everybody has his own interest and what is what is capable of doing. That we cannot build a house. That doesn't mean some people will not build. Yeah. However, you complain based on the commodity that is needed by you at a given time, what you can afford. For now, I'm complaining of fuel for now because I need to fuel my vehicle to come to work.
We all have our needs, right?
We all have our needs. And
so it
varies.
It needs cement to build a house.
Yes.
At the time of war. Okay. Oh, we wish everyone the best because
okay, please just let me be this morning.
All right. So let's continue, please. Let's continue with the Guardian. We still have one more interesting story to quickly look at before we move on to our next paper. Now, bandits attack Sokoto community as Zamfara holds emergency security meeting. Bandits attack Sokoto community as Zamfara holds emergency security meeting. Now, we'll be talking about the issue of insecurity and terrorism this morning in our show. Of course, I heard a report this morning that bandits attacked a particular community in Kebbi State. In Kebbi State last night. Last night, somebody called in and was saying that last night, a community, I can't remember the name right now, that they were under siege. And it's really pathetic that, all this is happening in the north, honestly. Then all the time, these governors have emergency security meeting, but it doesn't translate to anything.
Yes. It's like I told you, I wouldn't want to talk about this insecurity because it's becoming more or less like a cliche. more or less, it's a rhetoric kind of, because look at every time we are yet to, the military is yet to, is still coming out of the great loss they had, over 40 soldiers, about 40 soldiers thereabouts, including a lieutenant colonel and a captain. And here we are again at attack going on back to back, just like that. What's going on? What's happening, OJ? And we are still trying to contain the war between Israel, America, and Iran. And we are here, we have internal, what seems to be like an internal war. The attack is becoming serial. There's no space, no gap. At some point, I thought the whole thing was relaxed, but even the arrival of the 100 military soldiers from America, we were all jubilating that this might have a way of boosting the military. But after then, it seems to be like
we have
the attack, the Boko Haram and the bandits seems to be resumed fully.
Yeah, what is happening, according to some security experts that I have spoken with, is that we have so many ungoverned area
soft targets.
Yes, so they are soft targets. There are some communities you go, honestly, not a single policeman is there. Not a single policeman is there.
You don't even have access road, OJ.
Yes. So all these are ungoverned areas, especially in the north. There are some communities that are just there for themselves,
and they are far away from reality.
Yes, far away from the city center.
That's some of the realities of life.
Yes. So all these are areas where then when these criminals are dislodged from one side, they now go to this side. They now go and assemble.
And the mode of settlement, that is another problem. The mode of settlement in such areas is not encouraging. It's not.
What do you mean by mode of settlement? You don't tell people how they settle. They be settling in such area for thousands of years, hundreds of years. So,
I know, but now that we have been faced with terrorism, I think it's time for them to adjust it. OJ, you see,
adjust what?
You see, to find a way out of it. Okay, look at. I've been to some communities in the north. I served in the north. From a particular place, I don't know, is it Safe? I've been from that to Gusau. There's a place after Zaria. OJ, you can drive as far as 1 hour, 30 minutes, no single building.
But you see farmlands, right?
Farmlands.
Yes,
I'm going somewhere. Yes. When you have a settlement in a particular place, and the next settlement you're about to see is on 140 speedometer or 120 speedometer, is about 1.5 hour drive.
Yes.
It's not too healthy for things like this.
But are they not farmlands where they cultivate their farms, whatever?
But I'm talking of human life now. I'm not talking of farm. I'm talking of you are settling. OJ, you are settling here at CBD, and the next house is in Gwagwalada. So if attack is going on here, what happens?
But
you cannot apprehend it.
Hold on. But is that territory Nigeria's territory?
It's Nigerian territory.
Okay, you see, so you have to protect the Nigerian territories. When you see the map, is that location in the Nigerian map?
Well, I think instead we have to see how we can cluster together.
We should cluster together.
Then be our brother's keeper more because OJ, let's look at it. You are living here at the Central Business District, and the next house is in Gwagwalada. So if attack is going on here, what happens before the police can even get to this place to come and see how they can rescue the situation? OJ, I'm just painting a scenario.
It's not peculiar to Nigeria. You understand? That is the beauty of some countries whereby when you are traveling, you see the landscape of that area. You see the beauty of that area, the farm.
But unfortunately, the landscape is not helping.
So that is why the government needs to take control of its territory. You understand? Of its territory, whether the people live sparsely or densely, does not really matter. Are you getting it? Does not really matter here. So what matters is that you have to, because the president sworn
you should protect lives and
property of the citizens. You understand? And all those lands you see are the lands where you every day will come here and say, Nigeria is blessed with mineral resources and all that. They all contain one mineral resources or the other. So can't you protect them? Are you getting it? So
okay.
That is just it. So it's unfortunate that we are having this situation. That's so. All right, so let's move on to our next paper this morning. And which one do we have? Let's quickly find out. The Vanguard is next now. Staple. How federal government's 2.3 billion euros electricity project failed. How federal government's 2.3 billion euros electricity project failed. Wow. If you look at the riders, federal government begins a new phase after failure of 5-year 25,000 megawatts plan. Experts list implication, transmission, distribution challenges persist. Professor Oke, mixed targets, impose costs on homes, businesses, economy, LCCI, and so on and so forth. You see those riders there concerning this story, how federal government's 2.3 billion euros electricity project failed. 2027 polls, parties scramble to meet Electoral Act deadline. 2027 polls, parties scramble to meet Electoral Act deadline. So read this story and check out which electoral deadline or deadlines that the parties are scrambling to meet. I know that anything from April, the party primaries will begin. Yes, as part of the guideline. Yes, primaries
and will begin. Flag bearers will begin to emerge.
And some parties are still in courts and so on and so forth. So they need to settle themselves between now and April for that to happen. So that could be one of the reasons. So just check out the story to find out. Peterside condemns El-Rufai's continued detention. Peterside condemns El-Rufai's continued detention. Syrup seals federal government over phone tapping rules. Syrup would going to court all the time. Iran names Mujtaba, Khamenei's son, new supreme leader. Iran names Mujtaba, Khamenei's son, new supreme leader. Okay, so that's on page 41 of The Guardian this morning. And hope rises for PDP as Gbenga Hashim's shuttle diplomacy. Hope rises for PDP as Gbenga Hashim's shuttle diplomacy yields breakthrough. Right, so check out that story and find out how that diplomacy truce pans out. Amid terror surge in Kaduna, how illegal in Kwara, I beg your pardon, how illegal mining business thrive in Kwara community. How illegal mining business thrives in Kwara community. Remember that community that a lot of people were massacred?
Yes.
Reports from the Vanguard indicates that mining activity is going on seriously there.
OJ, it's not only in Kwara. We've been hearing reports of illegal mining going on in so many parts of the country, especially in the northern part of the country. Even though we don't have a first-hand access to it, but we've been hearing all kinds of things from different quarters. Some say, oh, that is what is even responsible for some of this, insecurity going on. That is just a form of distraction.
Yes,
that's what some people were saying. No,
the conspiracy is that these illegal miners and whatever, you understand, try to displace these communities from those communities so that they can have free access.
Exactly what I'm talking about, OJ. Not just free access, and also to occupy Nigerians to keep talking and keep talking. And this thing seems to be, unending. And this issue seems not to have any solution whatsoever, OJ. Over many years now, we've been hearing the same stories, security meetings here and there, service chiefs being removed, another one being replaced. And when it comes, it's, it sounds very tough. It's trying to hit the ground running. And at the end of the day, nothing is running. Allegedly, nothing is running. So it's that time we begin to, in fact, I've seen so many approaches. Sometimes they tell us kinetic, non-kinetic, and all that. And still, OJ, this whole monster is still on. Now, we don't know what is actually going on. Yeah, but we just hear and I'm going to hope that these things will stop.
All right. So that is the situation. We hope that this would stop. Okay, let's move on to our next paper quickly and see through. Nigerian Tribune is next. Electoral Act. Political parties differ over IPAC's threats to boycott 2027 elections. Political parties differ over IPAC's threat to boycott 2027 elections. Shockwaves across construction sector. Cement sales between 11,500 and 15,000 per bag. Shock waves across construction sector. Cement sales between 11,500 and 15,000 naira per bag.
So you can see my friend that is complaining about building a house now.
Yeah, so it's somebody who is in the construction industry or sector. So he should be worried, of course. He should be worried.
We all should be worried too, OJ. We pay rent. It also have a way of reflecting in your rent. Rent is going to jack up. Rent is going to jack up.
There is no sector that does not affect you directly or indirectly. No sector of the economy. No sector of the economy.
We're all interwoven.
Yes, they are all interwoven one way or the other. So it's not just because one sector is not, then you now focus there and think that, okay. So that is why everything should mellow down. Every sector, so that you can rest.
But OJ, you know, what worries me in this, that the rate at which things jack up, is fast. But when it comes to coming down, now cement is 11,500. The next thing now we look at the speed within the short period of time. When it's time for price to come down, it becomes very slow.
Yeah, of course, it becomes very slow, and that's how it is in
a capitalist society.
Generally in every society, yeah, particularly in a capitalist society. Maybe in a socialist society, the government might force things to drop and all that. But in a capitalist society,
those will determine the market forces.
The market forces, they'll be quick to raise prices of things when it favors them. But when the reverse is the case, they will now be dragging foot because of what profit margins. You know all this. Okay, so let's move on quickly. And NLC raises alarm over alleged 20 billion naira haste in TCN. Really? Okay. And NLC raises alarm over alleged 20 billion naira haste in TCN. Okay, so in the head sector, we have this headline there: daily soft drink, regardless of sugar contents, may harm body immunity, gut health, according to researchers. Okay, all right, so that's a good one there for one to read as far as health is concerned. So Iran war, federal government activates diplomatic channels, consular alerts to protect citizens. Okay, it's all good. So let's move on to our next paper. This morning. The Daily Sun is next. Convention. APC governors at war over NWC positions. APC governors at war over NWC positions. All right, so it's good.
It is expected, OJ. It's expected. You know, when we have mass defection, and it seems to be like we have, I think 30 or 31 governors now out of the 36 state governors. It's expected, OJ. In fact, we're expecting even more than this. Because this is a collection of men of interests.
Yeah, of course.
So everybody now is trying to justify one or two interests that suits him. And that's what we see when we have a collection of people who are of like minds, especially politically. So it's expected. We see those who are stalites, old members of APC versus the newly
the ones that are coming.
Yes.
But with the money, with the dough, they are coming with something.
Are you saying that is a factor?
Of course. If I'm coming as a new person, but with the dough, with the Benjamins, I should have a say.
You have a say.
All right, let's move on. Yes, NLC alleges 20 billion naira looting plot in TCN. All right, so those are some of Okay, and this last one before we move to our next paper, if we have any. Fear grips PDP members over leadership as appeal court rules today. Fear grips PDP members over leadership as appeal court rules today. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. Yes, our very last one this morning is the sports paper coming from the Punch, known as a Sports Extra. Adams ends goal drought as Iwobi others suffer FA Cup heartbreak. Adams ends goal droughts as Iwobi others suffer FA Cup heartbreak. So Adams plays for Sevilla of Spain. He scored for his side yesterday, so he has ended his goal drought. But for Iwobi, who plays for Fulham, they were dumped out of the FA Cup yesterday by their opponent, so they suffer heartbreak. So that's what the story is talking about. And for Osimhen fires Liverpool warning as Barca eye striker. Osimhen fires Liverpool warning as Barca eye striker. So many juicy stories here from the world of sports for you to look out for. So that's it on the newspaper review. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll look at our very first issue for the day. Stay tuned. All right, so welcome back. Welcome back to the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television. Now, let's dive into our very first, issue of the morning, and of course, it is on the issue of insecurity. Nigeria's no fight against terrorism has lasted for more than a decade. Yet, the threats of Boko Haram and other insurgent groups continues to cast a long shadow over the nation. So the recent killings of more than 40 soldiers in a deadly attack has once again raised troubling questions about the state of security in the country. So why are these attacks still happening? Are our troops adequately equipped and supported? And what must change to finally end this cycle of violence? Today, we take a closer look at why Boko Haram is still striking Nigeria's military and what it means for the nation's security. So this morning, I'm being joined by two in-house analysts. Brian Shaibu is here with us. Good morning and welcome to the program this Monday morning.
Good morning, Mr. Oje. Nice to have me. Good morning, viewers.
And yes, Chidi, as always, is here.
Good morning, viewers. I just hope that we can really dive into this issue very well, because like I told before you introduced the topic, that this issue is becoming more or less resounding. Nigerians are getting used to it, hearing it, every time the same thing. So I just hope we can dive into it, because we keep talking. But anyway, we just have to keep talking and keep lending our voice and be very hopeful that one day we'll come out of this mess.
Yes, we have to keep, talking, because this kind of issues cannot be happening and you don't talk. Losing 40 soldiers to insurgent attack and civilian. We are not even talking about the civilians now. We all knew what these insurgents did to the civilians. Gory stories about what happened and all that. But situation where they first attack military formation, did what they did, killed a commanding officer that the Nigerian military is now accepted that yes, the commanding officer died, Lieutenant Colonel died, but not up to 40. The number to me, as far as I'm concerned, does not matter.
It's inconsequential.
Yes.
You understand? So, gentlemen, the question is, why is it that Boko Haram continues to attack? Is there something wrong with the Nigerian military? Are they not equipped enough? Are they not? But today they will come out, they'll say, okay, in Zamfara, they have done this, in Bauchi, they have done that. But in that Borno, it's like these insurgents are getting momentum, they're now raising their momentum.
OJ, I think there's a senator from Borno State that came out last week or so, or 2 weeks, to say that virtually a large portion of Borno State has been taken over by Boko Haram. I've forgotten the name of that.
No,
senator.
that is not true.
That's not true.
Yes.
That's not true. You see.
Okay, you're from Borno State. Okay.
Yes. Whether we like it or not, the truth is that Boko Haram's strength has been drastically reduced. If you look at way back between 2010 and 2015, they used to take control of urban areas and semi-urban areas. They even have the capacity and strength to come into the town and then make explosions in markets, in motor parks, and even in churches and mosques. They no longer do this. Now they adopted a different tactics, that is guerrilla warfare tactics. What they now do is they stop coming to attack towns and cities. They are always restricted to all those remote areas around the lecture.
Soft targets.
Exactly, soft target where the presence of government is not well felt. And then because there are no good access road, it is always very difficult for the military to supply reinforcement or equipment to go there. And then coupled with the fact that the method they attack of this guerrilla warfare is that they normally attack military convoys or maybe military bases that are located there. So that is why it is always very elusive and difficult to finish them at once at a time, because they always hide. They move from across the regions. Sometimes they may be in Nigeria now, in the next minute, they will now move into Chad, and the next minute you will find them in another region. And this proves it very difficult for the military to be able to actually detect where they are, where exactly they are. And then again, because of the evolution of the Boko Haram, they are now divided into factions. And they always try to, even between them, there is competition for supremacy. There is ISWAP now, which has been brought out from the Boko Haram, and then there's the Boko Haram itself, and then there are other factions. The fight for supremacy also led these remote areas to be vulnerable to attacks by the Boko Haram.
Maybe, Mr. Shabu, I would like to even ask you, you have analyzed, the fight for supremacy and different factions, how they've evolved into different groups. But the question I want to find out, how did they gather their intelligence reports to attack Nigerian army? Because these are people who are not, quote unquote, as trained as, an institution like the Nigerian army. So how do they get, because we were meant to understand that some of these attacks are based on ambush. So how did they get their intelligence reports to ambush these guys and then it's called 40 soldiers?
There are two problems.
Do you know the resources laid down to train 40 officers? Do you know the resources we have lost? Not just human resources, including logistics. Of course, when they kill these soldiers, they will cut away with their guns and all kinds of hardwares that they have. So Nigeria is losing not just economically, and we are losing both human resources and even logistics. Money is being invested. You know how much is it? And it's one of the, you buy an AK-47, not talk of RPG, not talk of GPMG, not to talk of the tanks, and then to train a lieutenant colonel, what it takes to get to to train a lieutenant colonel up to that rank, and even a captain was involved. Now these are the things we need to look at. How did they get their intelligence? How do they gather their intelligence to report to be able to attack soldiers? 40 soldiers, and it's not the first time, OJ. We've had mass massacre of soldiers like this. It's not the first time.
You see, some analysts have said that one of the problems that's militating against the combating of this Boko Haram insurgency is poor information within the military.
Poor intelligence gathering.
Poor intelligence and information sharing. And then the Boko Haram were able to march into the local communities. And then these local communities are now afraid. They found themselves between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Because
they don't know that the next person standing beside them may be a Boko Haram member.
No, even the problem is that, okay, even when you reveal the secret or information about it, will the government even come and protect you?
That's the problem. One of the problems they're facing. So as a result of that, even the soldier will come and start asking questions within the local community, and nobody is ready to give them answers.
Yes.
And then again, there's another fear that sometimes, even if they give the information to the military, it is still among the military. There are corrupted ones that they will now go and tell the Boko Haram that, see, Mr. So neighborhood is the one that told us that here is where you are. So you understand? So there's this fear even within the local communities. You don't even know the next person sitting to you whether it's a Boko Haram or not. Then again,
so they disguise.
They don't wear, and then again, they dress just like local communities. 1 or 2 or 3 of them may be able to come to stay with you within that local communities for as long as they wish, and then they'll be sending information to their group. You may not know, because these are people that have been there for quite a long time. They understand the terrain. You understand? The terrain is very complex terrain. And then whenever they come out as to strike, they will do the strike and then run again. So by the time the military get the information that they are in so-so village or so-so remote area, before they arrive there, the Boko Haram already left the place. Only to come out again and strike and then run away. This is guerrilla warfare.
You see, the problem I think I have with this fight against insurgency is that it appears the Nigerian government or the Nigerian military has refused to involve. I don't know whether it is deliberate or not. Let's look at even this Iran, Israeli and US war that is going on. We don't have foot soldiers on the ground on any side. No foot soldiers. So is you send me bomb, I send you drone or something. Are you getting it now?
Guided missiles.
Missiles. You send me missiles.
Not just missiles, guided.
Electronic warfare.
It's technology warfare. Now, so this is where, but we would still believe in, okay, let's go and fight. We have foot soldiers, let's go and fight. Okay, and it's the same soldiers, the same military who now complain of terrain. They don't have good road. They don't have that. Don't you have the Air Force? You understand? That we say military, we're not saying army.
The armed forces.
It's the armed forces. So it comprises of what? The naval, the Air Force, and what? The army, right? So in this case, because of the terrain we are talking about here, it is the Air Force and of course the army that are more effective there, right?
I thought the last government procured some form of
Tucano helicopters and all that. But you see, the cost.
Where are the Tucanos?
No.
There are quite a number of factors that are militating against the process of this combating Boko Haram insurgency. You see, there are analysts who are saying even the procurement processes, there are corruption involved in the procurement process.
A lot.
Let me use
so corruption is a factor.
Allegedly, there are some allegations about corruption in procurement of the required military equipment for fighting of the Boko Haram. Then again, even if some of this equipment has been purchased, because of the poor road access to get into those terrain and supply this military, it takes quite a long time. Probably before the equipment will reach there, the Boko Haram might have done what they wanted to do.
No, Mr. Bibay, you don't understand where your OJ is going to. We're talking about the armed forces, which comprises of both the Air Force. Now, if the vehicles cannot get there, now, are you interested to know that Nigeria had to go to Benin Republic to make sure that a possible coup did not happen?
Exactly.
And they sent the Air Force there. And And in less than 4 hours.
That is more important than.
So what are we talking about?
We've had instances where
in 4 hours,
yes,
everything was dislodged.
Yes, we've had instances where we hear reports that soldiers on the ground will call for reinforcement or air support, and the air support, or you understand, will not come on time. Why? It's all these things are part of the factors. Because sometimes you need to neutralize.
Bomb an innocent village, like it happens in Kaduna sometimes.
So no, in this case, in the Borno, these areas that this thing happened, the army, those soldiers guys who are in that military formation, and seeing that thousands of these Boko Haram are actually coming, all they just need is air support to dislodge them, and then they can now do the finishing.
The ground soldiers can now do the job while they get air support to finish them.
So before that's what happened in the Goshi.
And you know, these soldiers were, the report when I was,
they were overwhelmed.
Yes, they said the Boko Haram members came in.
Just imagine, maybe you guys are numbers 100 and you have 3,000 men.
I think we are right.
And you know, OJ, it's not the first time, Mr. Ibrahim.
It's not.
I think no. I think this is even one of we've had more than these numbers being killed.
Exactly.
At once.
So many hours.
And these are people's, these are people's children who join the army willingly. Most of these soldiers are early to mid-20s.
Between 20 to
young
30,
boys, recruited into the army, and after recruiting them, they go to there and they just slaughter them just like that. Now, I still wonder how this Boko Haram, sect or whatever they call themselves, they're able to gather their intelligence to attack such information and then. Another time we had General Oban. Was it General Oban? When a brigadier was shot. And OJ, if they can kill a brigadier general, kill a lieutenant colonel who is armed, trained, just like that, you can imagine what will be of a normal citizen who is not even trained. And these are the issues, and then people begin to get scared. We are fortunate to live inside the city, because we are not seeing these things. But for those of us who have friends in the military, when I watched a video of when the military was engaging these Boko Haram guys. According to one of my friends, I wouldn't want to call his name, he said, it is in the next morning that you will turn left and right to find out who among your colleagues is still alive. And the same colleague that you were standing together alive this night, and you engaged in gun battle. I didn't know that bullets in the night used to carry fire.
Of course,
fire. You see moving like when you are burning firewood, those small red lights that moves. That's how I was seeing bullets flying up and down. And he said, according to him, he said after like 4 to 5, 6 hours of shooting, combating, you wake up the next morning, you turn left to look at is Umaru alive? Is Chinedu alive? Is Ojo alive? That is how they live their life there. And you see. And I've been asked what is going on, because we once, as the former president, late Abacha, said, if any insurgents last for over.
If Abacha were to be alive today, I think he's going to change that rhetoric.
That statement.
Yes, he's going to change it.
A classical attitude on the part of the government.
Are you sure he's going to change it?
He has to. You don't have to dwell on that comment anymore. We are in the 21st century. He made that in 1990 something. So,
but talking about it, but why can't we get drones?
Yes, that is the issue now.
Even drones are being used. Sometimes they bring them down. Sometimes drones are used.
I've not heard of that.
I think what I observe is that right from the time Boko Haram started up to this time, it is always their strength has been drastically reduced. They are not half as strong as they used to be. That is quite true. But what I observe is that mostly it is always when our election time is around the corner that they will now resurface again and start doing nonsense.
So are you saying there's any political connection to it?
Of course there is. Of course there is. Or maybe apart from the political correlation or coloration, there is also the fact that government attention is no longer there.
Once government attention is in politics, then
in the next election.
They are little bit relaxed about that thing, and they don't even give a damn what happens. All their attention is now turned into their political struggle. They are doing their
struggle for power.
Exact struggle for
and then those in that sector will now capitalize.
So they know that now the government is distracted. Distracted, so now they'll just take advantage. And mostly what they do is all these guerrilla tactics. What they do is they will attack a convoy, military convoy, to give the impression that the state is weak, and then also to steal arms. That's what they do. They don't any longer, when they attack villages, what they do is they take their food. You understand? If they see very strong people, just maybe this kind of 22, 23 all young men, they will now force them to join the group. That's what they do, attacking villages.
I also heard that sometimes they use some of these attacks is also a way of negotiating for their members that have been,
after they take, yes exactly.
Some of the members that are also in prison.
Exactly.
Of course, they also haven't we heard of the recent story, the alleged information whether or not the NSA on the issue of those pupils that were captured in Niger State, that releasing those students, they gave Boko Haram some amounts of money and then released two of their commanders captain. All these things happen. So it's part of the negotiation,
Even in conventional war, all these things happen.
So, and we want to, of course, welcome those of you watching us on YouTube. All you need to do is to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and seeing your comments, Burros SBZA, we can see your comment there. You're saying, it's like you are overwhelmed with the information you are hearing about the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. Wherever you are watching us from, want to appreciate you. Please subscribe to our channel and like this broadcast so that more people can watch us. So, gentlemen, let's continue with the discussion now. What should the government do? See, this is the same question we'll continue to ask. What should the government do better to sort out this? Because losing our men like in this manner will demoralize the young ones joining the military. If a lieutenant colonel or a brigadier general, or you understand, will be slaughtered just like this, and just like this, it is a serious issue with the Nigerian military. So are we with the way we are going, what should the government do? Whether you like it or not, like you said earlier, they will be talking about their election, their politics and all that, but Nigeria is burning somewhere.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
What should we do? Should the Nigerian masses rise? Should we just march to the streets, or what should we do?
Okay, before we say what to do there, let's take a look at why is the war persisted for all this time. You see, one of the reasons is that the group, because the problem has existed for a very long time, all these insurgents have now gained expertise in the war. Do you understand?
Yes.
And this makes it very difficult for you now to even combat them. Then, and aside this, every time they kill new old people, they will now find easy access to recruit new
ones,
new insurgent people.
Yes.
So there's never a time that they don't have membership.
They have the market.
They have the market. And then that is because...
And some of them are these young people that they kidnap.
Exactly. And that is because of the social problem that we are unable to take care of. For example, Borno State, or generally the northeastern part of this country, is the most poorest and then the least educated of all the other regions. Because of this, you'll find strong, able-bodied youth that have nothing doing. Some people left school at maybe SS3. Some did not even go to school. You understand? Some do not even have any skill to kind of fend for themselves. So they make easy target for the insurgent to be recruited.
Yeah.
Unless we take care of these things, the problem will keep persisting. That is it. And what do we do now? First and foremost, I think there has to be some kind of regional coming together of the military concerning all the areas that this Boko Haram is affecting. These like Chad areas, like I said in our last discussion, Chad, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. We have to put heads together to fight this menace. It's no longer a question of, now they are in Nigeria, I don't give a damn until they
I think there was a time something like that was.
Something
like that almost happened with Chad and the rest of them.
They call it the multi. That's an acronym for it.
Multi-regional collaboration. Multi-regional strong military collaboration between all these states, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. Because once each of the Sahel countries say no, they are not in Nigeria, they did not cross my border, so I have nothing to do with them. This thing will continue because after they commit evil here, they will run because they know that the military is not going to get information about that, so they will run.
Okay, can state police solve this problem?
Constitutionally, because this is a civil issue, constitutionally it is the responsibility of the police to take care of this. But then how much police do we have?
That is why I'm asking.
No, it's time to find out the state police.
Now that we are talking about
state police, another advantage in terms of solving this problem.
Yes, because now we'll have the states will now be in charge of the police.
Let me even answer that. Before I answer that, whether the state police can help in curbing this whole issue. This attempt to try to de-radicalize members of Boko Haram and then reintegrate them into society is not working. It's not working, OJ. Somebody that has been, mentally, manipulated, mentally, caved into becoming a beast, more or less. And you say you de-radicalize him and then bring him back to the society. We've been hearing all kinds of, in programs to that effect. And yet, it's not working. Some of these people are fundamentalists. They are extremists in whatever they believe. And trying to try to remove whatever they believe from their mind to make say that they can, and again, this issue of, I pardon this person, we're forgiving this person, and then you bring him back. You don't negotiate with terrorists.
You don't.
No, the issue of de-radicalize, members of Boko Haram that you said. Now, the reason why it's not working majorly, it's not far-fetched. Now, this is the reason. You de-radicalize. I'm very sorry for the pronunciation here now. Now, you said, okay, you should go back to the society. You push into the society where he doesn't have food to eat, doesn't have work to do.
And also poisoning the mind.
He comes back and become more radicalized.
No, it's not more. He goes back to his old ways.
Exactly.
That is just it.
And even
that is where the issue is.
The minds of other
yes. I know there's a business I used to do before.
And he's paying me.
Yeah, he's paying me. Now, I don't want to do it. It's not my wish to do it again. But now I am here now. I can't even go to the farm. I can't even go to the farm to
most of this.
So that's why the issue of poverty.
Now, poverty is the key too. Then second, OJ, the political will is there and it's not there too.
Which political will?
Yes, the political will to combat the menace.
No, OJ, let's be very frank. The political will is not there.
So I still ask the issue of the state police.
As I'm going,
we're
heading somewhere. The political will is not there. Then the state police, yes, fine, is a welcome development because sometimes insecurity is local. You must have ownership of the environment, understand the environment, and before you can even conquer any environment. There are terrains that, no matter how well trained you are as an officer or as a soldier, you can only understand it on paper, but you can understand it more like the man who was born, raised in that community. So state police, in a way, is a welcome development, like I said earlier on, and it's going to also find a way of helping in terms of intelligence gathering, because it takes a rat who is in the house to tell the one outside that there is food in that house. So I think the state police, in a way, will go a long way, knowing that most of these members of this sect or this terrorist group are indigens. There's this thing called indigens. When they say, "Oh, I'm an indigene," there's this. It means I know the terrain. So state police, because of course you are not going to recruit somebody from Kogi State to become a policeman in Borno State. You're going
think what they did in Borno State is that I don't know whether state police, there is a state police in Borno, but what they did
we don't have state police yet in Nigeria. No, we are now. So the
what we have is just vigilante.
We are in the process now.
Exactly.
So that is why I'm asking. Will that?
Yes, of course.
So
it will help.
That is because, just like my colleague here said, the state police are being recruited from the citizen.
Indigens.
Those who are familiar.
Who have ownership of that environment.
So when that is when we will have state police, they will now have people locals employed, right?
Exactly.
So to go a long way.
And then that is why in Borno State, they are making very good use of these vigilante and hunters, vigilante group and hunters.
Like in the case of Ondo State, we have Amataku.
Exactly. These hunters are very familiar with this difficult Borno terrain because they are always going there to hunt. Do you understand? So they are being used. In fact, they have been working hand in hand with the military. Where the military cannot be able to go, sometimes the hunters can go because sometimes they even know those boys. So you understand? And then getting the state police in place will go a long way into helping us fight this insurgency once and for all. In addition to also ensuring that the right gear and facilities and equipment have been provided to the military, and then also the socio-economic aspect of it has been taken care of, where you encourage youth to get the youth to doing something, and then maybe sponsor some of them to go back to school, and then again, information sharing, intelligence information sharing between the military and the citizens and the locals is very, very important. That is essentially what is lacking, and that is one of the things that are actually making the fight against the insurgency very difficult. Intelligence and information sharing. Like I told you, these insurgents are able to now merge themselves within the community. Even if you have information to tell the soldiers you cannot, because you don't know who is looking at you. You may be eating together, drinking together, and playing together, but then I don't know who you are. This scares the hell out of them.
You know, let me add to what Mr. Ibrahim just said. You know, state police in a way will reduce compromise, sabotage.
Okay.
It will reduce sabotage to a very large level in the sense that, of course, you know me and I know you.
Yes.
Do you understand me? Because some of this sabotage, I keep saying it, having ownership or being familiar of the environment is also security itself. Let me give you an example. There was a day I was running after a boy in my village. Then it happened about 2022. I've not been to my village for a long while. So one day I traveled to the village and something happened. And I was chasing after a young man. My own village. And you know, I grew up here in another part of the country. It interested that in less than 2 minutes, I could not even see that boy.
Yes.
Where he entered, until today, I was even thinking, did he disappear? Now that boy understands that environment. And later he called me when of course, everything settled down. He said, that do you know that he jumped inside the water and stayed inside the water and came out from the other side of the water?
Wow.
I mean, I was looking for him inside the bushes. He passed through the river and entered the water quietly and left. So you see,
it's very familiar.
Yes. Now that kind of boy, by the time you make him, by now he should be a grown up a bit. You make him part of the state police. It will help because it will reduce sabotage. They know the terrain. They know. See, some of these people are not. See, they are not spirits.
Exactly.
Boko Haram members are not spirits. They are human beings. In fact, in some families, they have 2 or 3 members of Boko Haram, but you can't talk, like he said earlier, you can't speak. So
that's why the difficult terrain is working for them.
Yeah.
Because they know most of these soldiers are not actually from Borno State. And the insurgents are more familiar with the terrain. So it's always it's very, very easy for them to now hide themselves within the dense bush and the Sahara and all these islands there.
Okay, so as we try to wrap up, let's quickly look at this argument before we wrap up this segment. The argument of, insurgents attacking, ungoverned spaces now. Let's put it that way.
Defenseless places.
Defenseless places. Our Chidi, in our earlier conversation, has suggested that, okay, I think it is high time now, these communities now try to shrink to the towns and city centers so that they can be protected, because now that they are vulnerable. And I try to argue with him that they, of course, where they are staying closer to their farmlands and or whatever, their ancestral homes and all that. So do you buy into the argument of Chidi that, okay, all right, guys,
you can't be living so far apart.
We are so far away where, of course, there is no way a policeman can be sent to your village to protect you.
That's what the villagers are already doing. That's why the population within the city center is exploding now.
So there's rural-urban drift.
There's rural-urban drift because of this. In fact, forget about Maiduguri. Even in Kaduna now, there is a very large population of people from all those villages in Maiduguri that have come and now settled there. So some in other
deserting their ancestral home now.
Exactly. There's a place called Malalingabas in Kaduna here. I was surprised when I went there to strike a deal about a land. I was surprised that almost 50% of the people there are my tribes people. So I asked the guy, I said, why is it that all Kaduna, I said, now your people now they run away from Maiduguri because of Boko Haram. They come and settle here. So that's what has been happening. Maiduguri is now exploding in population. New layouts are being carved out for people because they have been running away from all those. So even those villages they are now attacking, it's now they now have very small population, unlike before. A village may used to be having maybe 200 people, but now it is just 50 or 80 people living there because most of them have migrated to the city center.
To the city center.
Yes.
And what is the implication to the country?
Of course, it has economic implication.
Yes, exactly, because most of
there will be pressure.
Most of our farming activities are taking place in the villages, and now all those farmers have abandoned their farmlands and then drift into the towns. You understand? And then again, once they move from the villages to the town, crime rate will increase in the town because when they come to the town, they don't have things to do. If they stay there, they will be molested by the Boko Haram, and some of them will even be recruited into the Boko Haram against their will. In order to avoid that, they have to now move into the cities, and when they come to the cities, they don't have anything doing.
They become miscreants.
Exactly. They ended up becoming miscreants. So you understand? So that is
the implication is huge.
It's huge.
Of course,
it's huge.
It's huge.
I think it's about time the government must sit down or go back to drawing table and then start thinking of exactly how to combat this menace once and for all. There are so many dimensions to this, and each and every angle must be tackled.
Now,
deliberately.
Finally, I think, looking at the body language of this administration, are they for economy or for insecurity? Because they make comments about, but you realize that. No, let me just hear from you guys.
OJ is a straightforward answer. Yes. They are for both, but more is gaining more attention.
Which one is getting more attention?
Economy.
The economy is getting more attention.
Yes.
I think as far as I'm concerned,
the economy is gaining more attention than security.
I think they are more concerned with two things. One, their political ambition. Two, how they generate money into the economy, and we don't even know what's going to happen to the money. And then the security issue is actually not their priority.
It's not a top priority.
It's not a top priority, especially for now. Like I tell you, just look back, you will find out that most times the Boko Haram or other insurgencies at their peak, you'll find that it's always around the election time is around the corner. That's when the government is no longer, the attention of the government is no longer there. They are now only busy calculating, doing their permutation. How are we going to win this state? Which state are we supposed to go? How many parties are we going to? How many states are we going to leave to the opposition so that they will not think that we have cleared everything? You understand? This is their calculations now. They care less and less about the security of their people. And unless the government sits up and start to do the right thing, I think the Nigerian population will reach to a point that they will begin to take care of themselves by themselves. What I mean by that is that when citizens begin to buy arms and start to defend themselves,
it has started happening in some communities and alleged, of course.
It will not create anarchy. You understand?
Yes.
And our constitution does not allow that citizens will now have arms in their house. You understand? So I think it's about time government does the right thing.
All right. We just have to move on now, and thank you, gentlemen, for deliberating on this this topic on the issue of the 40 fallen soldiers. Even though the army is disputing the number, but the fact remains that they have accepted that some of our men have fallen in the course of fighting Boko Haram. And we're asking the question, why is Boko Haram still striking Nigeria's military? We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll look at another issue that is troubling us as a nation. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. This is the P&B Morning Show on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Streaming Omike Joseph Matthew. Now, a fresh controversy is raising serious questions about transparency and accountability within Nigeria's justice system. The reports that the wife of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, John Soho, was allegedly with 160,000 US dollars in cash by operatives was intercepted, I should say, with 160,000 dollars in cash by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has sparked widespread debate across the country. At a time when Nigerians are demanding stronger institutions and greater accountability, this incident is prompting a critical question: can Nigerians still trust the justice system? Today, we examine the controversy, the legal implications, and what it means for public confidence in the rule of law. Still with me is Ibrahim Shaibu and, of course, Chidi Kenneth in the studio. So we're now diving into the justice system. A wife of a chief judge caught with $160,000 heading home and intercepted by the EFCC. And this is a chief judge that we all know very, very well. That's John Soho. He's a respected chief judge, but it appears he has some answers, some questions to answer to the EFCC, and why would the wife hold be in possession of this kind of amount of money? And from reports we are hearing, he has given himself to investigation and all that. But that brings the question, the issue of
credibility
of the judiciary, the accountability of the judiciary. So where do we start in this discussion?
OJ, I think I was waiting for this topic because I think I'm a bit familiar with the judicial system of our country. Now, first of all, what is expected of a judge? There are ethics guiding you as a judge. People don't even know that as a judge of that caliber, you're not even supposed to be a billionaire. In the real sense of it, a judge is not expected. A judge is a moral symbol of the society. Do you know judges that don't even attend parties? There's a lifestyle in the judge. You can't see a judge of that caliber in open, functions just like that.
Doesn't socialize.
No, it doesn't socialize. Yeah. Judges.
He's mindful of the kind of
society
he engages in.
Yes. And you can see now, we're talking about 216 million naira. In naira, when you put it at the naira value, if you put it at 1,350 a dollar,
250 something,
216 million.
That's huge amount.
That's huge amount. Somebody's moving with it on transit. We're not talking about money in account. I know the Justice Soho, as it were, one of the most respected judges, as we all know. Some might want to say, "Oh, probably this is politically masterminded. Maybe it's a setup." But what are you doing with that kind of money? Even the security risk in moving that kind of money alone.
They have security following them to wherever.
I want to also commend the anti-graft.
So that is the issue of security.
It doesn't matter, OJ. This kind of money can see. Well, okay, the 40 Nigerian soldiers that were killed. Sorry to call it. Are they not security men?
No, they are in a war front. But in this case, in a city from Abuja to Benue State,
they have time to tell you. Let me tell you the truth. $160,000 can attract any kind of attack of any magnitude.
There's a way they can put the money. I can put it in my. I can hold this money. I can have this money within me. And you won't know.
To be fair to them.
Yes.
To be fair to them, the husband is a serving chief judge. He's a public service officer. But the wife maybe is not. And then you say she has already surrendered himself and wife for
yes. Justice Soho is facing issue with the EFCC because he failed to declare three bank accounts in his declaration asset that he's supposed to do. And he's a judge. He knows the implication of this. So that
and we have seen a situation like this in the case of Onoge too.
Yeah, that is what has
allegedly
put him in trouble. And now, while he was trying to sort out this issue, then they now intercepted his wife with this amount of money. So go ahead with your thought.
Okay, so you see, let's first look at the functions or the mandate, the established mandate of the EFCC. Number one is that they will be investigating financial crimes. Number two, they will be tracking suspicious financial transactions. And then number three, they are responsible for prosecuting corruption cases. As it is now, they are now carrying out their second mandate of tracking suspicious financial transactions. They wanted to know, how did that $160,000 came into being, isn't it? The problem is that issues of credibility, especially when it has to do with EFCC, both the EFCC and the judicial system, there are so many problems there. For example, now, how can the public continue to have trust on both institutions? But people have problems with these two institutions. You can remember in 2026 there was a crackdown raid on the chief justices in Nigeria, whereby so many justices were found to be involved in corruption cases. I think 2026. Yes, in 2026, so many of them were found guilty and then prosecuted.
No, so, we are in 2026 now.
2016, 10 years back, 2016. So people are still aware that those two organizations, the EFCC and the judicial system, are still questionable. That is why it is not credible to the people. You see, for example, now, are those organizations independent in themselves? Are they? Because sometimes those at the peak of power and authority seems to influence the decisions or the actions of those organizations,
of the institutions.
Exactly, particularly the AFCC, even particularly our justice system. We are all aware that this has been happening in Nigeria. And then secondly, again, there is the issue of transparency, how transparent they are. So many times we will hear that some amounts of money have been seized by the customs authorities, and they can't hear what happened to the money. You can remember this.
Even apart from that, let me even add, do you know there are certain amounts you are not supposed to carry? You're not supposed to move around with.
Exactly.
Even in foreign countries, I think you can even move up to $5,000 in your hand. Even in America. Then here in Nigeria, you're moving around.
America, at least $10,000.
$10,000. And you're moving 160,000. That's 216 million. You know how many primary schools that money comes?
Moving from Abuja to Benue State. Yes.
Cash. That's very, very important.
Intercepted somewhere in Nasarawa State.
Especially when such corruption is taking place within the judicial system.
And especially when your husband is in trouble with the Code of Conduct Tribunal.
That's why I say within the judicial
you are still carrying such amount of money.
And you see that calls for serious questioning, and it poses a threat to the judicial system. You see, some of these alleged judicial rascality that we see today is a result of some of things like this. You know, if the wife, I'm trying to paint a logic behind that, Bonnie. If you can carry 260 million cash, $160,000 equivalent, who knows how much is in the account? Some might come out to say, oh, probably she's a businesswoman. And now, make matters what the lawyers will now start coming to, make one or two defense and say, oh, maybe probably she's a businesswoman and she has right to carry. She was going to trade or planning to buy goods and services. But you talk, okay, let's just make that excuse for her. How about carrying it cash at hand? The risk you are even exposing yourself to in kind of money. Some people can have that intelligent report that kind of money is in your possession, and they launch an attack. There are so many angles you can look at this issue. But the problem here, we're looking at it at how does the perception it creates for the judicial system. Because like I said earlier, there are certain expectations, certain things that is expected of a judge and the family of a judge. A judge is not even supposed to be that wealthy in the real sense of things. But today we see allegedly some judges driving very expensive vehicles, living in expensive houses.
Cost what, hundreds of millions
of naira. It is cause for serious concern too. Because if you look at the ethics and what is expected of, like I said, the lifestyle of a judge is supposed to be like a priest. Society, a priest is not supposed to be rich or perceived to be very flamboyant and rich.
Okay, now, gentlemen, now that a statement from the Federal High Court by the Director of Information, Catherine Christopher. She has come up to say that Justice Zoho is ready to answer some questions with the Code of Conduct Tribunal anytime that is ready to present himself for questioning for not declaring 3 accounts in his declaration form. As a chief judge, you know this. So,
he knows the implication.
He knows the implication of this.
Yet he defied it.
Yet he defied it. So, what do we expect at the end of this investigation by the Code of Conduct Tribunal against Justice Zoho, and then with the addition of the interception of his wife with this amount of money at the end of the day?
Of course,
I think in order for public to now trust the system, 3 or 4 things must happen. 1, let the EFCC conduct a thorough investigation regarding this issue.
Again, that's for the wife.
For the wife.
Yes. Then
when they are investigating the wife, of course, the justice himself must be investigated.
Of course, by extension.
Of course, by extension.
By extension.
Investigated as well. It's a general kind of investigation that's going to take place.
So by extension,
yes,
EFCC will be is on his neck, should be on his neck now, and the Code of Conduct are already on him.
Also,
okay.
Just like Erufai now, the DSS are there and the ICPC are there. Of course, the activities of one agency cannot stop the activities of the other. Do you understand? That's how public service works. Just because DSCC are investigating over one particular offense does not mean that the ICPC also cannot do their work with you. So, first,
because of the complexity of the matter.
Exactly. The investigation must continue, thorough investigation. And then secondly, the evidence. If the evidence is found, let it be made public. Let the public know that this is our finding after making this investigation. And after that, prosecutions will not take place. You understand?
So should Justice Zoho still be there? Should he still preside over cases in Nigeria? Yes, because as far as we are concerned, he has not stepped down.
He has to step down. The stepping down will take effect as the moment it is declared that investigation is going to take place. Do you understand? While investigation is going on, whatever position you hold, you must now step down from that position for it to allow for smooth and to avoid influences in the investigation. You have to step down.
Of course, it is expected you toe the line of honor.
Exactly.
Looking for whether that position he occupies is an honorable composition.
Exactly.
And now looking at the fact that that has created a lot of negative perception in the judiciary. We are meant to understand that the judiciary is the hope of the common man. But now, looking at situations like this, I don't know what the common man will be thinking by now. You understand? And this brings us to the concern where we see all kinds of injunctions and counter injunctions flying up and down, especially politicians taking advantage of, the judicial system by allegedly by trying to induce some of these judges allegedly to get judgment in their favor. Now, and this raises a lot of concern. Honestly, in all honesty, it raises a lot of concern because, like I said earlier, there are certain lifestyle that is expected of a judge. And now we're talking about cash at hand. We're not talking about money in the bank now. Cash at hand now.
Only God knows how much cash are there in the account.
If somebody can move, OJ, if as you are, you can move with 20,000 in your pocket, just there 50,000 in your pocket. Who knows how much you have in your account? That is I'm trying to paint a picture here. Then it now brings us to the issue of the credibility of our judicial processes too. We appreciate the fact that he's going to, turn himself in for investigation, which is expected. And we also want to hope that the matter will not be swept under the carpet as well. Try to serve as a deterrent to other judges.
You know why? In such a case, because it involves a sitting judge, after the evidence has been found and he's considered maybe guilty, a fair trial will take place. Do you know the body responsible for now disciplining him? Is the National Judicial Council. But
it has not been established if that money belongs to him anyway. That's another matter. The money was seen with his wife. And some people might come out to say,
I hope you guys please. I hope you guys understand what we are addressing here.
Who owns that money, OJ?
That is for you. That's what you said. Yes, reveal. The wife was intercepted with that amount. We don't know whether the amount belongs to her, the husband, or cronies, or whatever. But Justice So, why this issue is so grievous is that it's because Justice Zoho is having an issue with the CCT, the Code of Conduct Tribunal, over not declaring 3 bank accounts
So it can be assumed or maybe suspected that
then just few days ago, they now saw the wife with this amount of money.
But when
we shouldn't speculate.
We shouldn't speculate because
my wife trying to say is that maybe probably excuse me, probably because he knows that they are after him, not declaring his the other 3 bank accounts.
Yes,
he might have withdrawn the money from that account and then try to now launder it.
No, we will see it. If you withdraw it, IT doesn't lie.
Yes.
All these things, the investigation will reveal. Once the investigation has revealed, if he's guilty, fine. And if he's not guilty, we are not even hoping that he should be found guilty. You understand? Probably his wife is a businesswoman, and nobody says a judge's wife cannot engage will not engage in business. You understand? So let's give them the benefit of doubt. Let the investigation continue, and then once the result of the investigation are out, let it be made public. It is from there that the National Judicial Council will now.
But remember, there are, like I said, there are different angles to the matter. Even though the wife, let's assume the money is legitimately belongs to the wife, but moving with that kind of money in your cash in your possession is also
this is another matter.
There's another angle to the matter again. So there are so many issues. And the matter, but I think
it is constitutionally illegal for you to
some people might even attach some political undertone behind it. Why now? Probably Justice Soho stands a chance of being the next CJN or whatever of that, or what maybe or whatever. This is Nigeria. When things like this happen, a lot of interpretation will be given to it. OJ, we all know these things. We have the case of Onogen. At some point, we came out and they say, he didn't declare his assets and the rest of them. And before you know what was happening, he was removed. And then the other...
It's very illegal for you not to declare your asset when you are in the public...
Especially that kind of position.
Especially that kind of position. So especially when you are a judge. You are the interpreter of the law itself.
You are the moral symbol of the society.
Exactly.
People see
he has denied denied all allegations, saying that he met all requirements of asset declaration, and so we'll at the end of the day we'll find out if he actually met all this or not. But but the issue,
we'll wait and see.
Yes, we'll wait and see. But the issue is that your wife was intercepted with this kind of amount of money, and Nigerians will definitely be asking questions.
Exactly.
So this is how
the questions can go either way. Is his wife. My wife has her own money. I have my own money. That's the truth. My wife has her own money, and I have my own money.
The citizens are already doubting the system.
Yes.
You see, so
that is before now.
Situation where.
In addition to this, there is sometimes in our country you see that there are also slow court processes. High-profile corruption cases will last for years.
Yeah.
This is even corruption in itself. You understand?
And at some point, we now start hearing things like labor gain and the rest of them.
And then the perception of powerful individuals trying to avoid punishment is also happening in this country. By virtue of his position and the connection he has at the top, may even let him go scot-free as well.
So before you know, the case will be there until he will now legally retire. He'll retire, and then so he will now be attending the case on retire when he's already retired.
And before we know what's happening, we no longer hear about that case.
Even as a citizen, I doubt the system in its entirety.
That brings the last question: the issue of trust on the system, because even the EFCC on Friday said about 100 lawyers are on trial for money laundering or assisting money laundering and some illicit activities and all that. It is still the judiciary we are talking about, gentlemen.
OJ, if we talk about lawyers being involved in money laundering, well, I want to say this cutting strongly, and the EFCC might not be far from the truth, because some of this, let me use for example the real estate business. The real estate business allegedly has become one of the top 3 agents for siphoning public funds. And that's why you see this springing up everywhere. Some will say the real estate business is what they call the savings account for some government officials. That's why you see money. Yes, you have some houses empty. Have you been some part of Abuja? When you enter some estate, you see like 20 houses, nobody's staying inside. They are not renting it out. They are not selling. is there. And when the properties appreciate, sometimes you see they start selling. So these are the issues. We don't know who owns those houses. In fact, in Kantampe Extension, in Kuzape, Zone 7, in Blokogoma, just name it. You have a lot of houses, empty houses. Nobody's occupying them. Another agent of all these, illicit crimes and illicit wealth is the automobile industry. Some of these car stands you see are not owned by the people running those car stands, allegedly. These are agents of money laundering. When people steal government money and they buy houses, of course, we've seen some government officials undergoing trial. Come to my state, you see houses being sealed as proceeds of crime. You see keep off, ICPC keep off, EFCC keep off. These are houses bought with our, our money.
These things are not going away anytime soon now. I think that is why Ojo talked about trust in the system. For me, trust is something conditional, not blind. So you understand? So I think for the system to be credible enough in this country, there are certain things. For example, when there are allegations, they must be investigated impartially, irrespective of who that person is. Whether it's a business tycoon, whether it's a top political person, or whether it's a top public service officer. It has to be investigated impartially, just like in this particular case. Despite the fact that the man is a chief judge, we still need to investigate this thing impartially, irrespective of who he is. And then again, if there are any evidence that are found that will show his offense, that he is guilty of the offense, let it be made public. Once these things are not made public, that is why it will be swept under the carpet. But once it is made public, the Nigerian citizens will now be looking forward to now what is going to happen.
And when it's not made public, it also affects the confidence of the citizens.
Exactly.
Because before now one other issue now, it is today's Soho. And the killing of 14 Nigerian soldiers. Before somebody say allegedly that Nigerians seem to have allegedly short memory. Before one other issue will pop up.
Issues always
and nobody talks about it again, and before talks about
so gentlemen, we just have to gentlemen, we'll have to end the discussion here. Thank you very much for the discussion.
Moving with $160,000, OJ.
Thank you very, very much. We just have to go. Thank you very, very much. Now, before we go this morning, gentlemen, let's quickly touch on this issue, because we have 6 minutes max now before we go. The issue of the appeal court judgment coming up today on the issue of PDP. The two camps, all of them are confident that the appeal court will rule to their favor. So is it today that PDP will either resurrect or die following this judgment quickly? Well, because if any camp gets the true judgment, I know that those that are in the other camp will defect either to APC or to where.
PDP is not going to die.
Is it today that
yes. OJ, the appellate court is the court of the wise. That is what it's known for. It's called, the judges there are known for, as men of wisdom. However, after the appellate court, we also have the Supreme Court. So PDP is not there.
There is no time. There is no time for them. There is no time.
But it is their right. It's not about time.
The judgment now, there is no time. The
jurisdiction of the matter, as it were, can also be entertained at the level of the Supreme Court.
So, that is why I asked the question: is it today that PDP will either resurrect or die? Because if the judgment goes either way, there will be a PDP.
What matters is somebody or some other faction.
Definitely, the other factions will make their decision, and the election is just by the corner. Primary start, yes. So that is why I asked the questions.
For me, the decision of the court should not have been the reason why PDP will die. They will only allow themselves to die if they refuse. See, they should know that there's no strong opposition against the APC. And Nigeria are suffering. I will say it on public television. People are now tired of this APC. And for as long as there's no strong opposition, APC will still come back to power. And for them to be able to at least...
The ADC is there.
I'm talking about...
ADC is building up.
No, see, ADC now is not... I still consider the PDP to be the strongest opposition for as long as they will take care of the internal crisis. And I hope whatever the outcome of this court decision today will be, Let them now vote. There shouldn't be any need for them to go.
So what you are saying in essence is that whoever gets the decision, let the other party accept, and then be reconciliation.
And that is an appeal you are making, because if you look at the level of the likes of Wike and Makinde,
yes,
let's be very frank with you, that they are seriously politically at loggerheads as we speak now. I don't see any possibility of them coming together if the judgment goes either way. I don't
if the Wike camp gets the judgment, will the Makinde say, okay, let me reconcile? Okay, let's come together. We are one family. Let's reconcile and then come together. Do we see that happen?
I hope after this whole matter, allegedly, we don't see other $160,000 flying up and down, because because this is a high profile matter. It is a survival of the soul and the well-being of a major political party that was once the ruling party in Nigeria. And mind you, PDP has a lot of strong political stalwarts as members of that party. So today is a decider, but like I said, it does not end the life of PDP, because it is also their right to take it to the upper chamber, which is the Supreme Court.
But the point I'm saying, there is no time, because the primaries for the next election, according to by the timetable, is April next month.
They will have to have the next 30 days. So that is scattered on stone, OJ. They might likely have.
Yes, that is why the judgment is happening to.
That is why I'm saying,
yes,
in their own best interest and in the interest of Nigeria, let them now, whatever the outcome of the decision will be,
let them
come together, and stay together. I know it's very difficult, just like you said, because I remember Makinde is on his own too, and then we know who he is.
And Bala Mohammed is with Makinde.
So we have three parties here for the benefit of our viewers out there. We have the Makinde camp, we have the Wike camp, and then we have a Sule Lamido, who also took the party to court for not allowing him to buy the form. You guys recall?
Yes, of course.
So all this is lumped together for the judgment today. So that is the Sule Lamido is a former governor of Jigawa State. So these are the three issues that will be playing out today. And the judgment has to be done today so that things can work.
The only place I think I'm not comfortable with the fact that, like I said, the appellate court, which is the appeal court, the court of the wise, that is not where the jurisdiction of the matter will end. I can say that.
So if it doesn't end there, then
they will have to proceed.
PDP is dead.
Then there's no.
He's not dead.
PDP is dead.
It is their right to approach
you cannot teach.
It is their right, and you have to adjust the timetable for them.
Candidate for the next election.
Which is their right.
You cannot choose the candidate for next election. He's dead.
Daniel cannot adjust the timetable.
Yeah, because of your
PDP as a technical way of mapping out a particular.
That is why I asked the question. No. Is it today that PDP?
I think I would rather agree with OJ, yes, that it may be the death of PDP if they cannot resolve their problem
today.
Whatever decision comes.
Yes.
Whatever decision is, if they cannot resolve it.
Gentlemen, we are not card carrying members, but we do
not look at this. We are stakeholders. We are
journalists, but I see it as a technical way of infringing on the fundamental rights of a party. The party reserves the right, as it were, to approach the upper chambers. If you don't get justice at the appellate court,
you don't understand what we are going through.
Let's end the show.
Gentlemen, we have to go.
I make adjustment election 20th of February to 16th of January.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have to go. Our time is up. Please, Chidi, our time is up. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show today. Ibrahim Shaibu, thank you very much for your insights today. And Chidi for the heat up debate. Or
they were adjusted. The election was adjusted.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, and that's all we have for you today on the P&B morning show. Thank you for joining us as we examine the issues shaping our nation and ask the important question that matters to Nigerians. So let's meet again tomorrow. And of course, I do see that we discuss issues affecting us as citizens of this country. A special thanks to Innocent, who, of course, is the man pressing the necessary button for us behind the scene, and other members of the crew. I'm Omiki Joseph Matthew. Bye-bye.